wife is $75 a month. So for $75, and give you an idea, I tore my Achilles tendon. Tore it right up. And I paid $75 every month, and I've got surgery, and on top of that, my insurance kept my income coming in. So pretty impressive. It's very, it's a very good system. And here's the thing, if it doesn't matter who you are or what socioeconomic economic background you come from, they don't ask that. You go in, if it's a life-saving procedure or whatever, it's done. And then afterwards, they will work out the cost.
Who decides if it's life-saving or if it's needed or not?
Pretty much whether you're dying or not. The doctors. A heart attack, obviously, but elective surgery is what I say is not life-saving. So if you need a hip replacement, you may go on. This is the side, the counter to that is that if you are needing a hip replacement or something that they consider elective surgery, then you could be on a wait list for a year or two. Now your costs don't go up by any means. I'll still pay $75 a month, but that is the downside to it. So I know if you can afford to pay for it, you're allowed as a Canadian to go somewhere else. If you want to go to Mexico or India or even to the States and have that surgery done, you're allowed to. But we are not allowed to have those clinics here. So doctors cannot set up a clinic for profit. So that's the side, like I say, the counter to that.
So compensation for physicians is capped?
That's right, absolutely. And that is one of the problems. Now, you didn't hear that from me because we need doctors, but there is caps on certain procedures, right? Now, they still, by all means, make a very, very healthy living. But
all the time.
You may make the same amount of money for checking somebody out for 15 minutes as you would for prescribing what they call the death drug. So we have
what's that?
Doctor-assisted suicide. So you've got terminal cancer, and we've just passed a law in Canada that if you decide that you've got an illness that you will not recover from and you're in pain, it is now your prerogative or not to decide whether or not to end your life. And we'll do that humanely with doctor-assisted suicide. And it's basically prescribing drugs. Now, as a doctor, you're not forced to do that. You have the choice to opt out of that procedure or whatever. But it's just part of that healthcare system. Now, someone asked me earlier about the rough neighborhoods and people with maybe addiction issues. Now, we are going through a terrible crisis in North America, and if you haven't seen it, trust me, you will. But it's hitting here first. In Victoria and Vancouver, it's a heroin epidemic with something called fentanyl. Now, fentanyl is a synthetic drug. It's a elephant tranquilizer, and it's being mixed in with the heroin nowadays, and we are experiencing at least one overdose death a day here in this city. So it is coming. If you haven't seen it, it will be there. It is terrible. Here's how we deal with our drug situation, though. We view in Canada, and especially here in British Columbia, we take a very empathetic and apathetic approach to our healthcare. Now, we recognize that drug addiction is a disease. You may have chosen to take that drug for the first time, but we understand that it is a disease. You can't go without that, and we're very empathetic and apathetic to trying to give someone a new chance in life, as opposed to a punitive approach. Well, I don't know what your belief systems are, but we kind of feel like at this point you have one life right now. And we would rather see you get it back on track and give you every opportunity and make every effort to help you get it back on track, rather than put you in jail to rot away, because you're not going to get better in jail by any means. Now that doesn't mean everybody gets better. But that's the approach we take, and we're very liberal, even with our drugs like marijuana. We're about to legalize that too. And there's a lot of push to legalize all drugs and take that different approach towards it. I don't know if it's going to come or not, but you may see a few people around this town right now who you could tell are what we call, you know, the slang for it is jonesing out. You know, they're wigging out on their drugs or nickel for their drugs, and you can tell. And it's a sad state, and you know, it's sort of a count your blessings you're not in that position, because you never know where life takes you, and you never know what could happen to you. And I think if anybody was into hard times, you would appreciate the apathetic and empathetic approach to helping you get better. Now, that being said, let's get into a happier topic. This building on my left-hand side is our City Hall. It's a beautiful brick building.